Testing 1, 2. I'm not even sure if this is going to work, but let's give it a stab. Let's go for it. We're going for one. Sticker says that. He says, we're going for one. Says we're going for one. Hey, everybody. Are you on here? Somebody needs to tell me if we're loud and clear. Watching from Egypt. Well, thank you, Egypt. Are we loud and clear? I'm trying to, I think this mic is a bit too, yeah, I need to move my stuff a bit. I hope I don't disconnect a cable in the process. Right. Guys, tell me in the comments below if we're loud and clear. And full disclosure, I must share with you that over the last couple of days, I've been trying to make use of my new equipment. I got this new Rodecaster Pro 2, which I'm using now, and I'm using a DSLR professional camera, and I'm using StreamYard as my streaming service. And I've been trying to suss it out for a while. And thank goodness, I worked with a guy that produced, in conjunction with the great David Kazadi, well, under the leadership of David Kazadi, there's a videographer. He does everything video. His name is Sticker. And so I asked him to come through and help me with my lighting. Tell me if the lighting is okay. I'm not even sure if it is. Tell me if it is. This is going to be my new sound check is perfect. I'm glad. This is going to be my new format from now on. And thanks to Zamtel, because I am using Zamtel's fiber network. This is not a commercial for Zamtel. I'm just telling you who I'm using in case you want to do the same thing. So, of course, I'm a big believer in Zamtel, but it makes it that much sweeter knowing that because, you know, I've been trying to get this thing up off the ground, and the connection, if the connection is not so great, if the internet is not awesome, then this whole setup really doesn't work. And so over the last couple of days, 2 or 3 days, I've been talking to Zamtel, and so I hired them to. And of course, the fiber network that they're providing us is not free, just so you know. Okay, I'm not trying to. I don't want you to think I'm advertising for Zamtel, even though in a roundabout way I am. I'm just simply saying to you that it is because of them that I can do this live stream the way I want to do it. And I'm over here in my office at Simoson Building, plot number 8585. I can read your comments here. Look at who's on time. Loud and clear. Tuned in from Mansfield, Texas. Well, the truth is I'm not even on time. I was a bit late. I was about 6 minutes late. But thank you for the confidence. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Philip, very clear. I'm glad. Watching from Birmingham. Well, in England, they don't say Birmingham. They say Birmingham, which I find interesting. Over there in England, they don't say Birmingham. They say Birmingham. Birmingham, loud and clear. Thank you so much. Right. Good to go level up. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to level up because, you know, they say that if you don't level up, hey, Cooking. This is my dear friend Cooking. He watches me on TikTok, and he's always so kind. And it's great to see you, Cooking. Elena, who's that? Looking. Oh, I've already read that. Nice to see you again. Loud and clear. Thank you so much. Guys, let's get into it, assuming that this broadcast is clear, assuming that it's not glitchy, because one of the most annoying components to live vlogging is, well, not live streaming is when your broadcast isn't clear and it's glitchy, and you don't ever want that. Good morning, watching from Siavonga. Thank you, Siavonga. We appreciate you. Appreciate you being with us. Casablanca. Are you watching us from Casablanca? Are you really? Let's see. I need to suss that out, boy. Casablanca. That's great. Great. Guys, let's get into it real quick. Oh, by the way, just before I love to do this thing where I talk about a few current issues before I get into the meat of the topic. Okay. Incidentally, I'm using a Shure mic. This is the same microphone Michael Jackson used when he recorded Thriller. If you're a Michael Jackson fan, you know that. But Shure mics are great mics. They're fantastic. I was reading a piece of news this morning on my way to work. And this is news coming out of Chipata. Because as you know about Chipata, I mean, I don't know. You know, I think they're just held to a higher, they're held to a different standard. That's cousinship there. I'm just being facetious. But there's a story that's come out of Chipata. Apparently, a patient got into a scuffle with a medical doctor in Chipata. Did you hear this? Let me break it down for you. A doctor prescribed a certain type of medication for a patient. The patient turned around to the doctor and said, "Look, I don't want to take this medicine. I would prefer to take something else." The doctor looked at this is a true story. I'm not making this up. This is not a joke. Okay. This is not, I'm not being facetious. I'm telling you the truth. The patient looks at the doctor and says, "Look, I can't take this medicine. Give me something else." The doctor says to the patient, "Look, I'm the doctor. I have already diagnosed you." In Zambia, we say diagnosed. "I've already diagnosed you, and this is my prescription. And this is the medicine that I'm recommending so that you can get better." The patient said, "Oh, hell no. I'm not taking that medication. What I want is this one." Back and forth, back and forth. Fast forward to a fist fight. Patient tries to knock the doctor out. Patient says, "No, you ain't going to tell me what to take. Okay, I'm going to go Mike Tyson on your butt." Can you believe that? And here's the thing, though. They finally did sort it out. They worked it out. But the lesson here, and this is the main lesson, and if you haven't heard anything that I've said, you need to hear this one thing. I mean, I don't know. That's Chipata for you. All right, that's just playful banter. If you're from Chipata, you know I love you. We love you so much, Chipata people. We do, sort of. Alawafia. Guys, got a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Well, actually, just one thing. And before I get into that, let me say this. Earlier today, on my way to work, you know how sometimes you're stuck in traffic and you're sort of waiting for the traffic to free up. You know, I was on my phone, scrolling on my phone, and you know how Facebook sometimes they sort of bring up a memory. They sort of, you know, they give you a throwback. Okay, it's part of the algorithm, I guess. You know, every so often you'll scroll and then you'll see an old post that you put up maybe 5-6 years ago. Well, I saw an old post that I posted a picture of my late father. This was a picture that he took in 1978. He was part of a Zambian delegation that had gone to Germany. And this is a photograph that I've shared on my platform. And I shared it a few years ago. I think it was back in 2016. And just as a memory, because, you know, I mean, he's my father, you know, I reposted that. And the caption was, "Oh, Dr. Simon Wewa. That was my dad's name. Well, some guy here, I'll show you his name. I'll show you his name because this is how jaded we are as a people. Some guy says to me, I'll find it here in a second. Just give me a moment. I might get it. Or it might be too slow. Well, whatever the hell his name was, I posted that photograph, and guess what? Some guy just jumped on my comment section and he says to me, why must you talk about your father? Why can't you show us your achievements? So my response to that was, what? So now it's a crime? It's a crime to remember your own father? What, you can't even remember your own dad? Somebody's gonna accuse you of being less than? And then the guy responds, he says, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying, show us your achievements. Oh, so I'm gonna wake up every morning and say, this is what I've done. This is what I've done. It was just a memory, guys. So my final response to the guy was, look, if you didn't like your father, if you didn't love your dad, that's down to you. That's your problem. It was just a memory that popped up on my Facebook feed, and I just shared it. How is that a problem now? It's insane, man. It's absolutely insane. Right. A few comments regarding that. Let's see. Oh, that was our cousins from Chipata, indeed. All right, there's something I want to talk to you about, and my conversation with the Lusaka mayor. Many of you know I've shared this before, and I'll keep sharing it because it's a real part of who I am. I'm not going to ignore that it doesn't exist. Or I'm not going to ignore that it exists. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't exist. Here's the thing, guys. The Lusaka mayor, some of you may know this, is actually a very close relation of mine. She's actually my niece. But what's even stranger about my relationship with her is that we actually went to school together. Her and I were in the same class. We graduated the same year in the same class. What's even funnier, or what's even more interesting, is that her and my wife, the three of us, we went to school together, and we were in the same class, and we graduated together. My wife and the Lusaka mayor were childhood friends growing up, and over the years, not only that, my relationship with the mayor spans many years ago. After she graduated from high school, she actually rented a space here at Simoson. And let me tell you something about the Lusaka mayor that some people may not know, is that in terms of business acumen, and she got all of this from her mother. Her mother was an astute businesswoman. I mean, astute. She was the stellar businesswoman, and all the business acumens, all the business characteristical traits that she possesses, she got from her mother, because she grew up observing her mother. Her mother was a very hardworking woman, just like the mayor in terms of business, hardworking woman. I mean, she makes things happen. Well, how many people know that sometimes politics gets in the way of family? And it breaks my heart when that happens. You know that Mayor Chitangala is a member of the Patriotic Front, which that shouldn't be a problem in any scenario. A mayor is the mayor of a city. She's not the mayor of a political party. She's the mayor of a city. So her being a member of the Patriotic Front, that should not be it shouldn't even be an issue. Okay? And a full disclosure, I will tell you exactly the reason why the mayor and I have a rift. It all began when I began to criticize the family's decision not to bury ECL here in Zambia. That was where the rift between the mayor and I started. when I would make public commentary and I would say that I don't think it's a good idea, to this day, I still believe the same thing. I hold fast to that same school of thought that ECL should be buried here in the homeland. There's nothing, there is not a single smidgen of ECL's former existence that should be buried in the land of the Amazulus. I've made that point very clear. I've made it abundantly clear multiple times. But for some reason, this sort of rubbed the mayor the wrong way. She didn't like the fact that I took that position. And I remember she sent me several messages saying, look, why don't you just stop talking about this? Why don't you just leave this alone? And my response to the mayor was always, well, why should I not talk about it? It is a national topic. People are speaking about it. It is on everyone's lips. Why should I stop talking about it? And because of that rift, because of that difference of opinion, and really the truth is it's just an opinion. I mean, the mayor has her own opinion. I have my own. And I don't think that it's right for me to be faulted for holding a certain school of thought or having an opinion. So from that issue of ECL's burial, the contentious nature of ECL's burial, and you guys know, the divisive component of ECL's burial. It's a very divisive topic. There are people that believe that no, the state has no business being involved in a family affair. There are other people that believe that no, ECL being a former head of state, it is right, it's prudent, it's correct for him to be buried here on the homeland. In any case, to be very frank, when Dr. Kaunda died, PF did the same thing to the Kaunda family. They said, no. KK should be buried at Embassy Park. There was a back and forth. Given Lubinda famously told the KK family, no, if you want, you can just stay away from the funeral. You don't have to come. Given Lubinda famously said that. So my position is, I think it's a bit disingenuous for anyone to sort of, especially the mayor. The mayor was saying to me, no, she called me Bachiti. Bachiti, because that's one of my names. My full name is Chitambala Chiti Kasubaka Fwimbi Mwansa Shimutea Shimonimwewa. Those are my names. But the mayor calls me Bachiti. She says, Bachiti, Mwilaranda Papari ba lungu. Just leave it. And I always said, no, I want to talk about it, So from there, Now, the issue that I want to highlight, as far as this city is concerned, the issue I want to highlight is, you remember yesterday, I posted something about the arcades, the bridge, Arcades Bridge. And over the years, because I know our people, I know the way our people think, I know the way marketeers think, I know the way traders, I know, and I know how they think. So after the flyover bridge was built, very, very incrementally, panono, I started seeing people trading underneath the bridge, which is wrong on every level. Because the bridge was not designed for that. I often tell my people, even here in City Market, even here at Simon Moore Lane Market, even here on Lumumba Road, I tell them, use a thing for what it is designed for. The middle of the road is not for you to bring stolen trolleys and put them in the middle of the road and then claim, I'm trying to feed my family. That's the wrong conversation. Okay? Traders belong in the market. Markets are designed for that. A road, much less the side of the road, but in the middle of the road, it's not designed for you to bring trolleys and then you start selling umbrellas, imbalala, kachesha, imichele, ntwani, umuchele, nempiripiri, pakati pa Musebo. You can't do that. Why? Because it causes traffic. It causes traffic jams. It slows the flow of traffic within the CBD. People don't realize Zambians are clueless when it comes to the negative role that wheelbarrows play in terms of traffic jams in the CBD. Nobody talks about it. We have just resigned ourselves into thinking, no, this is our people. This is how we are. We just get barras and we put them Pagatipa Road. And if there's a traffic jam, so what? As long as people are making money to feed their families. And when I speak like this, I sound like a mad, insane person to our people here. But all I'm saying is that in a community, and I constantly say this, and I'll never stop saying this, in a community, in a business community, everybody has to win, but the city comes first. The functionality of the city comes first. Everything else falls on the wayside. Everything else sort of pales into utter insignificance. If you put the city first, like the word of God says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and then all these things shall be added unto you. The city comes first. So, I posted this thing, and then Lusaka City Council swung into action, and they went and got those people and removed them. Now, here's the thing. What you saw there, to them, I am an enemy. To the traders whose things were removed when Lusaka City Council police show up at a spot like that, because that is their job. Lusaka City Council police are not breaking the law when they ask people to move from an undesignated spot. That's their job. That is the reason they were hired. So when they do that, guess who becomes labeled as an enemy of the people? Mwewa, Stambala, Ewa Itiriba Council. And yet that should not be the conversation. The conversation should be, and should always be, our people need to trade in the markets, not in undesignated spots where they expose themselves to danger. Do you know that if you tell a trader, if you say to a trader, if you shapaka tipam sebo, moto kanga ya chita lose control, kutia mishona. If you tell a trader, because you're trading in the middle of the road, if and when a car loses control, it's going to run over you. Do you know what our people say in response to that? And they say it to you with a straight face while looking straight in your eyes. They say, Nileso Tusunga. It's God who keeps us. If I die selling imbalala pakati pa musebo, selling impiripiri, selling uwoa, ichikoloa pakati pa musebo, inenga na afwa, it means it's just my time. My goodness. My goodness. That is how our people think. Today, I've just posted a video. If you go back on my timeline, on my way to work, that video I posted about those boys with the stolen trolleys parking in the middle of the road, pakati pa musebo, blocking traffic. We go through that every day. Does council go and talk to them? Not a single time. They just ignore them. They think that that is inconsequential. It is not inconsequential. It has an adverse effect on the flow of traffic within the CBD. People don't see that. Now, the other reason that the vast majority of our people don't see it, or rather ignore it, is according to them, according to the traders, when they see me as a motorist, forget mwewa, forget the fact that it's mwewa. Because, that's the people they get hung up on that issue. No, mwewa, this, I'm nothing. Think of it from a motorist's point of view. If you start thinking, no, it's mwewa, mwewa, forget mwewa. Just think motorist. Any motorist with a vehicle is inconvenienced. But our people, when they see me taking out my camera, complaining, they say, it's because ulensha motoka. If utatwensha iwolensha, uletulanga ati you alikuwa tempiata. I mean, oh my goodness. Sometimes Valam Peña, they really just drive me nuts. I think, why are you talking like that? It's got nothing to do with the car. It has everything to do with every motorist within the CBD that wants to get through traffic, unblocked, unhindered, unfettered. Oh my goodness. What? Anyway, the key component of my conversation with the mayor, and I have to share this with you, and she knows what I'm talking about when I bring this up. Her and I were having a conversation not too long ago, and I was complaining about the state of the CBD. And the mayor said something to me that was very shocking. And the moment she said it, I said to myself, well, anyone that wants to run to be a mayor should never say these words. The mayor said to me, Lachti, we should not think like Europeans. We shouldn't think like Americans. We should not think that Zambia can be like Canada. We have to understand our people. In our culture, the way we do things in the CBD here in Lusaka is not the same the way they do things in Canada. So to expect our people to act like Canadians, to expect our people to throw things in the garbage, to expect our people to understand that they shouldn't trade on the middle of the road, they can only trade in the market, to expect our people to look at a drainage system and not treat it as a garbage bin, to expect our people to do that is asking too much. In my heart, I said, that's wrong. You, as a mayor, you can't say that. You cannot say it's futile to aspire to have a higher standard. Because that's what that is. I mean, when she said that, that's what she meant. The spirit of what she meant was, it's too much to ask our people to aspire to be better. It's too much. Just meet people where they are. See them for who they are. That school of thought is what is destroying this city. Hear me? You civic leaders, you politicians, aspire to be better, higher, bigger, much better. If our people are used to filth, are used to throwing garbage, teach them better. Say to them, this isn't the right way, this is the way. But for leaders, for elected officials to look into the eye of the average Zambian and say, no, we understand your filth. We understand why you throw garbage on the ground. We understand. And we're not going to hold you to a higher standard. Because God knows this ain't England. This isn't Europe. This isn't Bogota. This isn't Bogalusa, Louisiana. We understand. And so we're going to meet you where you are. Okay, if you're down here and the local authorities up here, we're going to come down to your level and we're going to understand your plight. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Leaders should aspire higher, should aim higher, should elevate higher, not meeting our people where they are. No, I disagree with that. So that's full disclosure. I thought I'd share that with you. Tell me what you think. Come in. Oh, thank you much. Actually, put it in the other room there. I'll come through there. Someone says, so why do we teach Zambian children European curriculum? Indeed. Well, hey guys, thought I'd share that with you guys. Thank you so much. So from now on, this is going to be my new format. Tell me what you think of the format, and please comment in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Bye.